Welcome to this explainer. Look around your room right now. Seriously, just take a quick glance. The Wi-Fi bouncing through your walls, the lights above you, even that remote control sitting on your desk, they all trace back to one single guy.
Back at the turn of the 20th century, Nikola Tesla was an absolute superstar. We're talking Steve Jobs level of fame here. He was this aristocratic gentleman rubbing elbows with US presidents and grabbing dinner with Mark Twain. He practically engineered the foundation of our modern world single-handedly. And then, society just completely wiped him from the history books. So today, we're uncovering the true story of this brilliant inventor. Let's jump right back to the Gilded Age, to the exact rivalry that literally built our modern electrical grid. Section 1. The War of the Currents.
Okay, before his historical erasure, Tesla was the rock star of his era, and it all starts with a massive technological showdown. It's the 1880s, and Thomas Edison introduces direct current, or DC power. But from an engineering standpoint, Edison's system was kind of a nightmare. It required these massive, incredibly thick copper cables every few blocks, and it just couldn't travel long distances. Enter Tesla. He rocks up with alternating current, or AC. This was a total game changer because AC power could travel hundreds of miles almost instantly.
Well, when Edison realized his tech was losing, he launched a brutal and frankly desperate smear campaign. To try and convince the public that Tesla's AC was way too deadly for everyday use, Edison actually publicly electrocuted animals. He even backed the invention of the electric chair just to associate AC power with death. Pretty dark, right? But it completely failed. Tesla won the War of the Currents, teamed up with George Westinghouse, brilliantly lit up the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, and built the world's first major hydroelectric plant at Niagara Falls.
Section 2. Inside a Genius Mind.
Now, to really understand his victory over Edison, we have to look at how his mind actually worked. Because how exactly does one single person dream up the electric motor, radio, remote-controlled robotics, and wireless signaling decades before anyone else? It all comes down to the fascinating way his brain processed information.
The engine behind his genius was a severe neurological condition, an intense visual synesthesia. These episodes came with blinding flashes of light, but they basically allowed him to see complete 3D mechanical blueprints in his head with microscopic precision. He rarely even drew things out. Think about that. He would test, run, and actually measure the physical wear and tear on a machine entirely in his own imagination before ever building it in the real world. Absolutely wild.
But it gets even more interesting. Tesla didn't actually believe the human brain generated consciousness. Instead, he viewed his body as a biological antenna, tapping into a universal field of information he called an akashic substrate. And to keep this antenna picking up a clear signal, he used these hyper-specific sensory isolation rituals. He absolutely refused to shake hands, hated touching hair, avoided pearls like the plague, and obsessively counted his silverware. It was all to ensure his mental frequency remained totally uncorrupted.
Section 3. The Free Energy Dream.
So this highly tuned mind eventually leads him to 1901, where we find his grandest, most secretive vision yet, the Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island. Now, to the public and his investors, this was just a telecommunications tower meant to send wireless messages and voice signals across the ocean, basically predicting the smartphone a century early. But Tesla had a hidden agenda. He believed the Earth was a massive, highly conductive reservoir of natural electrostatic potential. His secret goal wasn't just communication, it was wireless free energy. He planned to turn the entire planet into a giant ocean of standing electrical waves.
Imagine the scale of this for a second. Tesla's vision was that absolutely anyone, anywhere on Earth, could simply stick a small metallic rod into the ground outside their house, hook it up to a tiny receiver about the size of a wristwatch, and boom, pull down unlimited, zero-cost wireless electricity 24/7. It would have completely reshaped human civilization.
And we actually know he was onto something incredible during his preliminary test runs in Colorado Springs and Long Island. When Tesla hooked up high-voltage coils to long outdoor lines, the resulting electrostatic field was so powerful, it literally stripped electrons directly off the nitrogen gas in the night air. The result? Acres of the surrounding forest naturally glowing in this eerie, cold ambient light without burning a single leaf. I mean, it must have looked like pure magic.
Section 4. Sabotage by Wall Street.
But this is where this incredible leap in human progress violently collides head-on with corporate interests. Tesla's primary financier was the Wall Street titan J.P. Morgan. When Morgan finally realized what Tesla was actually building, a system of free, unmetered energy, the dream died overnight. Morgan famously asked,
If anyone can tap into the power anywhere, where do I put the meter? Morgan realized instantly that free wireless energy would completely destroy his vast monopolies in copper mining, coal, and oil. No meter, no profit. By the way, if you're enjoying uncovering erased history like this, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep bringing you these deep dives.
And so begins the devastating downfall of a genius, systematically crushed by monopolistic forces. In 1901, Morgan pulls all the funding and blocks any other investors. He then throws his weight behind Guglielmo Marconi, who, get this, was secretly using 17 of Tesla's own patented designs to steal the credit for inventing radio. By 1905, the press, heavily influenced by these monopolies, launches a character attack, labeling Tesla an insane kook. Finally, in 1917, the Wardenclyffe Tower is seized, literally dynamited, and sold for scrap metal to pay off hotel debts. From there, the textbooks just handed his hard-earned credit over to Edison and Marconi.
Section 5. Rediscovered Science and Legacy.
So, shifting back to the present day, it brings up a really critical question. Was Tesla's physics actually possible, or was it just science fiction? The answer lies in modern geophysics. Science has now confirmed that the Earth's atmosphere carries a natural electromagnetic heartbeat, the Schumann resonance, which pulses at roughly 7.83 Hz. This proves that Tesla's theories on planetary standing waves were actually entirely correct. He predicted this atmospheric cavity decades before it was officially discovered. Incredibly, human brain waves during deep meditation match this exact same frequency range.
It really leaves us reflecting on a profound and tragic what-if. While modern physics pursued these centralized fossil fuel grids, Tesla was over there solving clean, wireless transmission through natural harmonics. Just think about this alternate timeline. Had his vision been adopted, humanity might never have faced the modern crisis of climate change. There might be no ocean acidification and practically no resource wars fought over oil. We could have had a globally connected, totally clean energy grid a century ago.
But instead, the story ends here. On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone and penniless in room 3327 of the Hotel New Yorker. Almost immediately following his death, agents from the U.S. government's alien property custodian swooped in and seized all of his trunks, his paper designs, and his research notebooks. The knowledge was locked away.
Though the Supreme Court eventually ruled in late 1943 that Tesla, not Marconi, was the true inventor of the radio, the corporate powers of the 20th century had already largely succeeded in suppressing his legacy. But his prophetic words, "The present is theirs, the future for which I have really worked is mine," feel truer today than ever. As wireless charging, electric vehicles, and renewable energy slowly take over the world, it is our modern era of tech that finally validates him. Tesla's future has finally arrived.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. Let's do a quick 5-point dashboard summary of what we just covered. 1. Tesla created the AC grid that currently powers our world. 2. His unique mind allowed him to invent in 3D space. 3. He almost created a free global energy network. 4. Corporate monopolies actively erased him to protect their profits. And 5. Modern science proved his atmospheric theories were actually right all along. So I want to turn this over to you. Was Wardenclyffe a realistic technology intentionally destroyed by corporate greed, or just a beautiful dream that was a little too far ahead of its time? Sound off in the comments below with your own historical verdict. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.